All right. I think we are going to get started. Whoa! No longer starting soon. We are starting now. Okay, so one of the cool things that you know, that I have to share with you today. Let me kind of tilt this a little bit. No, no, it's probably all right having it there. All right. So, started a new job. Um, I went from working at Marvel to working at Blizzard. Um, I'm on the Overwatch team and having a good time. So it'll be a really good. It's gonna be really good. I'm really excited. So sorry I'm getting started like an hour later than was scheduled, but we're gonna have a good time today. So one of the things I wanted to draw attention to. Let me see actually if we can pull this up. We're going to go over into the Pixelogic website. May the 4th be with you. Um, there's this special ZBrush live event happening on May 4th, Star Wars themed. Okay, if you want to be able to read a little bit more about it, there's here I'll drop the link in the chat. But this is coming up, and it should be kind of a fun little experience. Um, Create your best Star Wars fan art. Uh-oh, something's not working. Reload. You know what? I don't know if that went through or not. I don't know if that went through or not. Let's try it again. Maybe it's just maybe there's something about the link. Let me see if I can get a permalink down here. Let's try this one instead. See if that works. Did that work? Yeah, looks like that went through. Okay. Hopefully, because like my app was coming through saying that there was an error. Yeah. Hopefully everything's all right. Long time no stream. But yeah, it's all based around Star Wars. It should be a pretty fun, good time. Um, May the 4th be with you this year as we welcome several very special guests to share some exclusive behind the scenes Star Wars content, as well as showcase your Star Wars fan art on ZBrush Live. So, my thought for today, you submit your artwork. Um, I wanted to be able to do something. I want to participate. It's like I love Star Wars. It should be fun. And something that I've always loved is the samurai Star Wars series. Okay. Um, I like the idea of it. I don't necessarily care for how the Darth Vader looks. I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't, I feel like I can do a mask that I like better. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do kind of a bust of Darth Vader with that with that samurai aesthetic. Um, yeah, I really like the the stormtroopers. I think that they're really fun. They look like stormtroopers, but they have a little bit of that samurai flair. Just fun stuff. The Jango Fett. Oh, I didn't want to look at that. I wanted. Let's see, Boba Fett's the same. It's just fun. It's just fun. But I feel like doing something like a Darth Vader would be epic. Um, Kylo Ren. That's funny. Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to be able to do for this thing. Just do like a little bit of a bust. Okay. I do not like matte cap red. All right, let's go ahead. Let's load our tools. Actually, we don't need to load anything. We can just say, let's get a sphere. Let's get started. How's everybody doing this morning, though? Maybe later on. I might only be on for like about an hour today. I gotta see real quick, just to make sure that I am not dipping too much into. Um, I just got to know like what the schedule is going to be for today. Let me see. Cool, it's on. All right. Hey, sis. Yeah, it looks like it looks like I'm not even showing up for today. It's weird because I am in this schedule. I did schedule it. Huh. I'm not on the official calendar yet. Oh, there we go. May 6th is where I'm in the schedule for the first time. Hey, Luigi, how you doing? What you working on this fine Saturday morning? So the idea will be to do something similar to this, you know, with a Darth Vader, just a bust. Because like I really love this idea of samurai Vader. Um, it's just such a fun aesthetic, a fun idea, but I don't particularly care for the way that it was done here. So what I want to do is I want to kind of redesign this to be able to make something else. I've got a nice little mute button here now, so it's like if I needed to be able to mute myself to cough, I can do that. And I have water left over from yesterday, so I'll totally take a drink. So yeah, this is the idea for what I'm going to be doing today. So much nicer. Oh, but let me show you something. So yesterday I got the opportunity. Let's jump over into this. I got the opportunity to go to campus. Started my good to be back, Mike. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a good little break. Went to Paris and had a good time, and it was fantastic. Um, but yeah, went started a new job a couple weeks ago, working on the Overwatch team for Blizzard, and it's awesome. It's a great job so far, and really enjoying it. But yeah, so I was able to go to campus yesterday, and I got an actual physical copy of Overwatch, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I got pictures with the giant tracer, the one that was like stuck in downtown LA or wherever it was. Um, there were so many cool things to see around campus. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I'm going to go ahead. I'll leave this up. But let's jump into this. Let's see about getting a start. Okay. I want DAB. How you doing? I want to start with. Oh, I'm not in a Polymesh 3D. Let's say that. Come in here. Grab this boy right here. All right. And in fact, let's grab this and say let's say flatten. Do it this way. Okay. Geometry. You know what? Let's take this too and get rid of that. Okay. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish kind of a base for the hood, kind of going off of his back there. Let's say delete hidden. up here, something like that. I need to make this double-sided so I can see. In fact, one of the things that I'll do is I'll probably take this. I know I haven't even like blocked in the head or anything yet, but I'm trying to think through things. I'm in the screen. I am. Oh my goodness. Rookie mistake. It's like I feel like I should know about this. Like I should be used to changing things out every you know. Man, that's funny. But yeah, Drumaye. That's a pretty cool name. Drumayer. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, but it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Paul Palazzo. Yeah, it's much easier to see when you don't have something in the way. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do this. Let's grab that, and we'll say grab the primitives. Cool. We'll just kind of like use that to block in. That's going to be like the top of the head. Okay, I want to think about. I don't know. It's like I'm having issues right now thinking about. Oops. Wanting to. Not that I'm having issues with anything. I'm just trying to think about like how I want to go about creating this. I don't know that I really want to create something with like super clean. How many PCs do I need? I have two. One for work, and then I have one for me. Yeah, so the one that I'm working on now is my new personal computer, and it's I got it through Puget Systems up in Washington. They're super great. It's a great machine. Super enjoyed it. And then the machine behind me is my Blizzard machine. So the machine that I use for work. So really pretty fun. Yeah, so yeah, because I can't use my work machine to do personal work, and I can't do use my personal work machine to do you know, my job. Let's say split hidden. I'm going to go through and use this in a very organic kind of way. So let's pull this up some. Let's subdivide it once. All right. Let's see. We're going to see kind of how much we decide to actually exaggerate things here with this. Alright, let's turn on the Dynamesh. Let's say... Okay. Then I'm going to say groups, turn off blur. Let's see about getting this to be kind of a neck piece. Kind of skinny that in, change the rotation some. This is going to be a very different kind of piece from what's typical for me, so it should hopefully be just a fun exercise. Yeah, it should be kind of interesting too to work through this kind of idea. Let's try to make sure we're getting a good head shape in here, and then we'll see about making that neck piece come into it in a better way. I want this. I want him to feel like strong and capable. So I'll be trying to like not necessarily make him feel muscular, but I want him to feel thick, right? How was the vacation? The vacation was awesome. Oh, here, yes, this will be May the 4th related. It's going to be Samurai Vader. So it should be fun. I mean, right now we're just obviously like very early stages, right? But it should be pretty fun when it's done. Yeah, here's kind of like the inspiration, I'll say, but it's not going to end up looking anything like this. I want to do something very different. I don't particularly care for the way that it was handled, so I'll probably go ahead and try to do something more reminiscent of Vader, but also more reminiscent of like samurai. It's like if we look at like a samurai, um, let's say the mask. I mean, that's a lot of like Oni sort of stuff, and I don't know that I want to go full out Oni, um, although it could be cool. Um, Because I mean, see, like we get something like this. This is super super cool. We're getting the teeth in there, and I think that they're trying to emulate some of that with how this is going on here. Um, but yeah, I think we can pull a little bit more of this off um, than what they had with the Bandai Samurai. It's like I feel like a lot of let's see if we can find, let's say, traditional. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can see like some of these, like they don't even have teeth. Um, and if they do, it has like really short, small stubs of teeth. Um, Makes it a little bit easier to breathe, I guess. But then, oh yeah, here we go. This is kind of a cool one. Um, but I mean, you can see like large nose holes, the mustache, super cool. So I wanna think about like some of these things that we're seeing with like these traditional masks. Um, I love the beautiful swoop of these massive central pieces on the forehead here. The wings on the foreheads. These are like super iconic to me. So having something like this there, I think is something that to me is, I feel like it's underserved here on the Bandai figure. Just structurally, I feel like there's so much more that can kind of go into this. So we're gonna play with it some. What's this? That's odd. I mean, there are things about it that I really really like, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'll go back to the Vader. We'll keep Vader up. I lost the really cool. There we go. My shiny toy bots. All right. So yeah, we're gonna try to play around with this a little bit and see what it is we can pull out with it. Um, it should be fun. It should be fun. It's going to take some time for sure. Um, Probably take this over into next week as well. Um, but should be a good time. Let's kind of pull this forward. I'm going to say about, let's see about let's say split unmasked. We'll call this here. Let's say Control Shift D, just so that we have. Let's say call that helm. Call that head. We're gonna call this neck. just so that way we have like some easier to work with pieces here. Okay. Boat moved a ton. Oh, on you guys went on a cruise or something, right? Let me see. Got to catch up with chat. How much would it take to create a full production character model? Weeks. Just wants to know the production house pipeline. So there's a lot that goes. Oh, you like the Oni style? I don't know. I'll have to think about it because like I do love the Oni style masks. Um, and I've done an Oni style mask before. I don't know if you guys remember it. In fact, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I have them up on ArtStation or not. Let's check. That Sarah Johansson looks pretty good. See, I don't remember if I have him up here or not. I don't have him up here. Speed sculpt? Nope. I got rid of a bunch of stuff that was on my ArtStation. Try to really clean it out. Yeah, let's go. Let's go about. I thought I had a really easy. Okay, there we go. Instagram. It's like, please let me in. Now I'm trying to think. Oh, the Oni. We're gonna find this guy. He should be pretty easy to find. Let's see if it'll just load more quicker. Load more quicker. Here we go. This guy. You can see like I've got like I've got some pretty cool stuff going on with this guy. I'd like to finish him out at some point, but you know. Let me see. Stuck in the 60s. Wait, I'm confused. I feel like what? Yoshimitsu from Tekken. Yeah, a little bit. The samurai Vader. Yeah, let me see if I can address these other things real quick, and then I'll jump back to that production pipeline. Because that's a good question, and it's really involved. It takes a series of people, but boat moved a ton. Fun going on the Caribbean though. Got to ride in a pirate ship. That's cool. A good time on the cruise. Food is always the best part. Pirate ship is awesome. Hope you didn't get seasick. Are you dumping ArtStation like Geek? I've restricted ArtStation. The hard thing for me is that I get a lot of sales of things like my, like for instance here on my ArtStation store, I have different tutorials. I have different brushes and things like that, and I actually get decent side income through those things. So I'll never completely dump my ArtStation. Um, but I definitely like. I mean, I have my own website, and I've been working on kind of developing it and trying to get things more better, make a better home for my toys, for my store, being able to watch me live. You can get in, you can join the Discord here, that sort of thing. Um, and I'm also working on trying to build a section of my site where I can host like a mentorship program. So it's really fun. It's really fun, and there's a lot left to do to be able to make this so that it's completely the way that I want it. But it's definitely coming along. At some point, I want to change my portfolio into my gallery. Um, so yeah, it'll be nice. A lot of this stuff will change quite a bit once I once I get the time. But there is no spare time. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the idea. And then yeah, so there's my first Oni mask from like a few years back. Um, he's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think there are definitely some things that I want to do differently. This guy's really super stylized, and I like the mask is anyway. And samurai masks are pretty stylized. They are pretty stylized in their forms and their structures, but there's much more of like a, I'll say an imitation of reality. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm because like some of these, like you can see the forms are really grotesque and I mean some of these get really. That's definitely not quite what I wanted. But like this is like a super cool. And granted, it's based off of a video game, but um, but yeah. So really cool stylized forms, structures. I want to kind of pull that in and you know work some of those things out. So we'll keep some of these things up for reference. I did not want to open another link. I just wanted to see the picture. Just show me the picture. Okay. But yeah, like these wings kind of coming off the side. That's super iconic to me. Super neat. Um, Even though this is very obviously not a traditional one, it's just kind of a somewhat style of a. Now, this guy's kind of cool though. Interesting. Yeah, people who make props, it's kind of fun. It's a fun series of hobbies. So these are the sorts of things that I'm trying to consider when I'm. I love that. But yeah, I'll try to keep an image like this open so that I can see it. I wish that I had better images of like rotating around. Um, because everybody only likes to take pictures of the samurai. Oh, this guy right here. Oh, okay, that's epic. I've got to grab this. Let's say copy image. I'm going to show you guys a tool that I super love. It's called Bluescape. Um, there is a free version. I think it's a trial. It's not necessarily a free version, but I'm pretty sure it's a trial. Um, I don't want to update. You know what? I'll not worry about it for right now. Let's come over in here. Yeah, I don't want to buy it. Um, let's just paste this image in here. So this works if you're familiar with PureRef. It works similar to PureRef. Um, I've never super. I don't know. Not that I've never liked PureRef. I like it and I use it pretty regularly, actually. But this is um, yeah, this is kind of how this works. I mean, you can organize things into different boxes. The boxes then become something that you can move and manipulate all together. You can add text, you can add images, you can add video if you wanted to. It's really, really nice, and I super love it. So right here, this is kind of what we'll start to create this little board for Samurai Vader, something like that. I don't know, however we want to name that. We can change our colors, so we've got like let's give it like a, well, it's pink. Let's do something like this. We'll change the opacity down to like 10%. Border, we can make it red so that it's red like Darth Vader's lightsaber. You know, just kind of like, I don't know, just we can customize things in a pretty nice way like that. And now this is movable within or without of that space, and I also have this board that I can go ahead and I can kind of move around, which is really, really nice. Super flexible. Um, but yeah, and then this is something that I can access both online and I can access it through um, yeah, through my desktop app. So it's really nice. It syncs up. Oh, that's awesome. here? Let's grab. See, like I love that you know all these names here. In fact, let me go ahead and grab the image from this. There we go. So I have that there. Here, I'll even grab my own, just so I have reference of something that I've done. Put that up in the corner. Put this here. We'll put other props or other designs over here. And then over here, let's go ahead and we'll say, oh, not Instagram. Shoot. Oh, it won't let me. Very traditional. It's like, this is super cool. Look at that. Wow. Like that helmet, that is so extra, like like anime level. Like that's this like man, like they really knew how to create a sense of status. Oh, that's so cool. Let's say copy that image. Put that over into Bluescape. Put this over here with our, oh, come on. Some of these focus more on the headpiece versus the mask aspect is often associated with it. Yeah. How do you find spare time to manage all that? Your website, ArtStation, Instagram, toots. I don't. Yeah, no, it's really tricky. So like a lot of it, like for instance, I try to take Saturday mornings to be able to stream. I feel like this is the best time for me to just get up and do something creative and something fun for myself. Um, oh, it's a terrible picture. Such a beautiful piece, but then it's like ruined by terrible picture quality. Oh my goodness. All that compression. Um, but then there are a lot of times where it's like, um, a lot of things will just kind of take planning. So things like designing my tutorials or designing my website, a lot of that can be done even without sitting down at the computer. So as I get an idea while I'm up and about, while I'm at the grocery store, while I'm out on a walk, different things like that. Um, that's a time where I'll like pull out my phone and I'll write things down as ideas come to me. Um, I really like the big knots. Those are so much fun. Oh, this is super cool. This is definitely not. That can't be real. Not like or not, it's real. It's just like I can't believe that would be traditional. This is cool. Here, let's see. Let's copy the image. At the Penn Museum. It's from a museum. You know it's good stuff. Oh, this right here. Oh, look at that. Okay, we got some good stuff. Copy image. Oh, but that's cool too. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, let's get back over into Bluescape and put this in here so that we have it. Okay. So we've got all these different things here. Here, let's go ahead. I'll move this up closer to there. I'll move this over to here. Um, the mustache. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But yeah, it's all about kind of just being aware of what ideas come to you, and and not feeling stressed that you have to service it to completion right away, but making sure that you make note of it in a way uh, of being able to acknowledge what it is that comes to you. Um, Otherwise, the ideas come and then they flow right out. Yeah, let's see. Let's get some actual structure going in here. Okay. Let me see. Let's take this. I'm going to kind of pull it down a little bit more. And this is just, for blocking in something, right? This is just trying to figure out, all right, so I'm going to have like this extra little visor piece, kind of like this guy has right here. Shoot, it's like I feel like that's not even moving the mouse. So yeah, this little guy right here. It seems like it's pretty typical for visors to happen, and it's like that'll help for if somebody's trying to shoot out in like a bow. You got arrows flying down at you. It helps keep the arrows out of your eyes, right? The sun too, right? I'm sure. Yeah, multifunction. But those visors are definitely protective. So I want to think about those sorts of things as I'm creating this. I also think I'll probably you know what? Let's come back into this. Let's make sure that we're getting let's get rid of that. Geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Boom. And then right in here, what I want to do is go ahead and center it, and then we'll just scale it so that it's nice and oh no, no way. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and invert that. It's like I totally messed everything up there just now. It's like, dang it. Oops. So let's jump back to the question from earlier. So pipeline, it's going to be different depending on the person working on it and the character that they're working on. I find that quite often the character that I'm working on really dictates a lot of what I do for my pipeline personally. Um, um, Yeah, so like right now, like everything's very design based, and so I don't really have like a clean base to start from. I don't have, um, yeah, I don't really have a particular plan. I'm just kind of going at it guerrilla warfare style, and just just hitting it however I feel like makes sense. I like it better with a sharp bottom there so far. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of start to sculpt something out here. Now this is going to this will probably look really, really odd for the first little bit, but that's okay. That is indeed okay. You know what? Jar Jar Vader. Misa no think so. You know what? I do kind of want to have a little bit more. A little bit more there. Let's see. Let's put it up to like 200, somewhere in between the level I was at and the level above. I like, usually when I'm working with Dynamesh, I like to like double and half and do things like that. So if I'm working with like a 128 level resolution, I like to step it up to 256 after that, and then 512, and then 1020 to 1028, 10 whatever it is, 1024. Thank you. Let's see. Let's do something kind of like this. Yeah, this is going to be like super speed sculpty, but I should hopefully be able to work out getting some cool shapes in here before before the bell rings. Um, that'd be interesting. I should probably go through and oh, you know what? Somebody has designed a Jar Jar Vader. I'm gonna show you guys because this is pretty funny. Images. Oh, honey. Yeah, there's like Jar Jar Vader right there. Okay, but no, there was a real one. Like you can see. Where is it at? Well, I mean, there's like the Darth Jar Jar kind of thing going on here, which is something that I think everybody was thirsting for a while when like the new Star Wars was going to come out and everything. They're like, we want Darth Jar Jar. Um, oh, there we go. There's the voice for Jar Jar, the actor for Jar Jar, next to Vader. No, there used to be like all this fan art that was all driven towards Jar Jar as a Sith Lord, and it's here, you know what? Let's say Darth Jar Jar. There we go. This one is super super gnarly. I mean, obviously not Jar Jar, reminiscent of Jar Jar, but very different structure to the eyes. They obviously didn't care for the eyes coming off the top of the head, sort of thing. And that's fine. We won't hold it against them. But yeah, very very cool. There's like Kylo Ren mixed with Jar Jar, sort of thing. There's lots of this sort of fan art. It's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, definitely a huge fan of how this guy turned out. Very very neat. Definitely less huggable. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. Let me see. Let's open this up. So I want to see. I mean, eventually, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to kind of hollow this out so it's just a mask, and I'll probably have it so that it's like a. Here, let me kind of carve into this, I guess. So it's kind of multi-layered like this. Then there will be like another piece that's kind of worn inside. That's I'll make it connected right here, but not like it's one piece. Like it's connected, or it's like close to connected or something like that. Um, because I do want it to have the right kind of connection. Ooh, had an idea. Okay, okay, let's do something like this. It's all about these ideas and getting ideas to kind of work together and work out things like that. All right. Jar Jar was never huggable. You are heartless. Huh. I thought I had the app on my. I was going to. I think what I'm going to do. Is that you guys can't see my work Discord or anything like that. Let me see. For anybody who's interested, oh, dude, did you build those out? Did you build out the did you build out that helmet, Leonard? That is beautiful. Wow. Yeah, because like something I love about this style of samurai is just the grandeur, the big pieces. Super super cool. The exaggeration is just unreal. It's so neat. But for anybody who's interested, I'm going to jump into the general chat. I'm going to be in there, and then anybody who wants to jump in and talk, like I'd love to hear from you. Kind of makes it a little bit less quiet. So yeah, Leonard, Deborah, if you got, whoever wants to jump in there, I'll have that there, and it'll be fun to chat. Oh, I think it cost me $500. I was like, it doesn't cost you anything to get into the Discord. What are you talking about? $500 over in Tokyo though. That's super cool. Yeah, I love Japanese craftsmanship. They do such an amazing job. Japanese craftsmanship. They do such an amazing job. Japanese craftsmanship. They do such an amazing job. Japanese craftsmanship. Hey, Leonard.
I'm gonna have to.
I actually can't hear you, and I'm curious if it's something on my end or if
Sorry,
it's something on your end.
I think that's me. I got to turn one of us off. Um, can you?
Voice chat.
It must be something on my end because I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh.
I haven't said any. There you are.
Oh, you know what?
Are you there?
I know what it is. I know what it is. I figured it out. Now I can hear. Now I can hear. Or can't I? Now nobody's saying anything. Hold on, let me try this again.
Oh,
there we go. Now I can hear.
There
now
he
I
is.
can hear it. I was like, I figured like there was something weird going on. I couldn't hear anything, and then it's like, dang it, I was the first one in, and I couldn't hear anything.
well, yeah. Well, I had my speakers on, and I had to turn your stream off because you were getting feedback from the speakers to the mic.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm wearing that shirt in a different color, Steven.
Hey, I'm wearing this shirt in this color. the flag of Japan colors. That's kind of fun.
I was like, I only got the one
I
off.
don't have that color.
I'll have to make you
oh
a
my
shirt.
Goodness, the poor
Leonard.
Yeah, make Leonard a shirt. That'd be great.
Oh.
Do your cool ink pressing stuff.
Yeah, it's a fun little process. It's messy, but it's fun.
Did it like dye your fingertips or something? The poor people. Oh, they have to listen to our voices. Is that what the
it does get
No,
kind of messy like
they
that,
have
but
to
it's
put
not too bad.
they have to put up with us sidetracking the chat.
conversation? Like honestly, like this is super cool. Like I agree with what Steven was saying earlier. Like the way that Japan, in terms of like architecture, culture and clothing and stuff like that, like everything is so phenomenal and well done, and it's so outside the box in some cases, especially when you've grown up in the United States and you haven't seen that. You see things like what was it? They have like these vending machines that sell like these little cakes with like fresh whipped cream and strawberries in it, and then like the fact that they're able to manage that without anything going bad is just like, gosh darn, you guys, teach me.
Well, it's like
That's
in other
Like a
that's
whole.
true.
countries,
People
they're
that
very on
buy
top of like clean, fresh ingredients, and they do a really good job at um yeah, they do a really good job at uh I guess like turning things out and not making too much, and I don't know, it's really fascinating. It's like when we were in
Mm.
Paris a couple weeks ago, there was some I don't know, it was really interesting to me just how um what's the word I'm looking for, like just how attentive to their needs they were. They were very good at, I mean, they made a ton of stuff and they always sold out, which meant that they were very in tune with what it is that they needed for the day.
Mhm.
And I thought that was super cool. Super,
that
Talking
super
about
that
cool.
something
society.
very
Those
much.
society. Well, they're not based on mass consumption like we are in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
That's
That's a good point.
and
That's a
in
very good
fact,
point.
when I lived in Tokyo, if you found something that you wanted, like anything, and like any kind of toy or anything, you better buy it right then and not wait for a sale. We're sort of set up to wait for sales. Like, oh, I
Mhm.
can get that cheaper when it goes out, but they
I.
sell out because the trends start and end,
Mhm.
and then you can't find them anymore.
And then you get something new, and so it's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, there's something either new or better to be able to accommodate for demand of ingenuity.
and
Ooh.
then there are things that never should be made, like when they made baby harp seals into sushi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They're little stuffed animals, and they
The
were
little
called
stuffed
sushi
animals.
azurushi.
Yep.
And I
I
had
remember.
one, but I think I gave it to my sister.
There's wisdom. Oh
So there
man.
was
And the
there was a really
and the
cool
most,
question in the chat. I kind of want to address that. Dev Kumar was asking, how many hours a day should we work in a field in order to have healthy, long, and balanced life? And really, it's going to vary for you. I think that there are going to be um, things that or I'll say times where it feels okay to kind of go ahead and push yourself a little bit more, to work a little bit more, to do a little bit more. But really, like for me, my rule of thumb is like, I guess don't work more than what is necessary, and make sure you give yourself plenty of time to rest. Give yourself plenty of time because, like, I think, especially here in the States, I don't know if you're here in the States or not, but there's a huge hustle culture. And um, hustle is great. There's a need for it. You need to kind of stay on top of yourself and your own goals and things like that. But I think that um, it's also important to to take care of yourself and to allow yourself time and space to rest and those sorts of things. Um, so that's why I think a lot of artists here in the U.S., especially in like the animation industry or in the gaming industry, tend to get burned out.
Yeah, burnout.
It's
Happens quite often.
it's such a heavy and very real thing.
Well, and it's hard also to see people who are like are so passionate about what they're doing and things like that burn out on something that, they've been making a living on and learning to like, work off of. And so when the burnout happens in that regard, they're also losing out on the ability to be able to continue to enjoy what they do.
Mm,
And so it's hard to see that hustle culture as well because, so much derives on taking care of yourself. So the balance is so important. Same thing
absolutely.
with baking cookies. Don't bake too many
You know,
cookies at once.
my older brother said to me one day when I got laid off from Disney for the second time, he said, "Can't you find a job that you earn money and then just go do what you love instead of trying to earn money with and doing what you love at the same time?" And there's an actual logic to that. That's what he does. I mean, he earned a lot of money and they travel all the time. Um, and when his company pushed him out at 60, he went through a little downturn, but I mean, emotionally and mentally. And then he kicked back and he said, "I'm just going to go garden and I'm going to go do the stuff I love to do. We have the money."
Absolutely.
I I get that. Um, my struggle now is, I see you, Stephen, working away, and I'm super. You're actually, um, how do I put it?
You're an
You
inspiration to
keep
us all.
me. Well, yeah, no, you keep me inspired to keep doing stuff. Otherwise, I'd be out in the backyard picking up, digging out grubs some more out of my planter beds.
Do
I
you
don't know
need to do
why I
that though,
do
Leonard?
that, but
Like, do you need to do that, Leonard?
I dug out five over 500 Japanese beetle grubs out of my veggie beds,
Wow.
and it was gross.
Poor guy.
I didn't submit those pictures to your Discord. I did it. I did it to Ian.
That's funny.
My neighbor across the street, a minister, and I figured, he's a big guy. He's kind of, I was walking out with a bucket, and he looked at me, and goes, "What's in the bucket?" And I walked over, and there's just these grubs of the size of your pinky,
Wow.
easily and bigger, like 300 of them just crawling on each other. And I held the bucket up to him. He screamed like a 8-year-old girl and ran.
Okay.
That's
So,
funny.
I took a handful of them and threw it at him.
Oh, I'm
And I
glad we're
worry
not
about how my
neighbors.
children behave, Leonard.
Is that
Leonard.
That's
So, Stephen, I like. This is gonna sound weird, but I like the stylized cheekbones.
well, it's like I'm trying to
He's
think
like,
about
oh,
like a shape that feels like it kind of works because Vader has these insane cheekbone structure here.
masks, the
Um,
mask cheekbone.
but then I'm also seeing some really interesting stylized shapes going in with the samurai mask. And
Oh
so
yeah,
and so I'm
yeah.
I'm trying to think about
How to incorporate
maybe
the two into the other.
yeah, I think kind of what I want to try to do is get some of this. I don't know. I might try to streamline this down.
just
Uh,
just remember that Vader's helmet was a modernized version designed of a samurai helmet.
That is true. That is something that actually I do remember hearing about. It was
Yeah,
supposed to help invoke like the idea of the power and the strength behind a samurai code. Because what was it? Oh no. Okay, never mind. My
well,
information flew out the window.
well, and you
Psych.
also got to think about like his position in the empire. He is the armed defender of the emperor, like the head armed defender of the emperor. Um, and so like he's got that hood going into it. He's got all those elements that are really helping to make him feel I'll say, samurai like. I mean, he for all intents and purposes, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, he is more of like a samurai type character. There is no honor in him, but he's um but he's he's a samurai, and that's kind of an interesting point of view to be taking with him. I'm liking that a lot better. Feels more skull-like, but it's I think it kind of works.
And all the samurai houses now are, let's see, one of them is Sony. That was a former samurai house.
Oh.
What other? Almost every large corporation in Japan was a former samurai house or a warlord of some sort.
So are we talking about like warlord
because
like Nobunaga, Oda?
Well, it's
Kenshin
very
and
interesting because
Sagi.
Most historically warlords and samurai and or warlords basically have just disappeared because they get overthrown. But the samurai, they were more like townships and governors and presidents of areas, and they protected those people that were within there. And they didn't abuse them quite like Europe did, the kings.
Sure.
And so when they realized they couldn't war anymore, which they brought all the samurais, the clans together, they had to come up with something else. So they became manufacturers. They became businesses, and they're hugely successful. Even was it the electric company Kanseiko is the legitimate arm of the Yakuza.
Ooh, the Yakuza. Oh. Terrifying.
Yeah, and they are the legitimate business arm of them. I had two guys on my crew in Tokyo when I was working on Tokyo Disney Sea that had tattoos all up and down their arms. And we went out for drinks one night, and basically as we were all getting drunk, which I never did, I only drank enough to appear I was drunk, I asked him a question, which is, I thought tattoos were not popular in Japan, and I thought only criminals got tattoos. And they admitted that they were basically the muscle of the Yakuza, but the economy downturned and they got laid off.
Ooh.
So they had to go find jobs somewhere else, which was one of those moments where you're like, so the mob laid you off, didn't kill you, just said, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to lay you off.
Funny thought that's a thing. It's like, we're sorry, we're gonna have to give the axe, draws a samurai sword, and suddenly it's just like cuts your contract in half. Go find work somewhere else.
Yeah, go work for Disney.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I was thinking I might have been able to get into the questions more with chat going on. I think I might actually not. It was a good little experiment. I think I'll probably jump out of voice chat.
Sorry, I was gonna try and redirect it if I could.
Nah, no worries.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of good
sorry.
information there though, but I think it was a good little experiment for me. But I don't know. It's good to hear from you guys though. Thanks for talking.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of tricky with other voices going on, trying to get into questions. Let's jump back to pipeline sort of stuff. So yeah, like I was saying, like pipeline can vary. It can be very different based on. In fact, I'm going to bring my reference over to the other window so that I can look at stuff. Yeah, so pipeline's going to be very different based on Studio, the tools you have available, um, all sorts of aspects. And so one of the things that um, to me is really interesting is that, well, I mean, every person's going to have their own workflow. Every person's going to have their own preferences, their own. Oh, you know what? That could be cool. Have like a little. Here, I'm going to try this. Ways that they were taught, ways that they were. In fact, here I'm going to go through and kind of do a little bit of. And a lot of it will come down to ways that people have had to adapt to be able to work on certain projects. So, for instance, I have had to work on things for Imagineering, where it was all very centered on what's it called? Like, yeah, I'll say experiences and producible objects. And so something like what I'm doing right now, it's kind of more centered in. Here, let's say delete. Let's say turn off the Dynamesh stuff here. What I'm doing right now is something that I did a lot when I was at Imagineering and um, trying to get rock work for the rides ready. I would go through and kind of cut things out. You just kind of creating slices where I needed to. This is a little bit messy, but it's okay. We can fix this easily enough. Let's say bridge edges, Control W. Okay. So yeah, this is something that I did quite a lot. I would slice things wherever I needed to cut things off. So you can see like now I've got like these two pieces here. I don't want to have those pieces be like I want this to be kind of separate like that. Okay. There are places like right here where I need to go through and kind of slice through that. That's probably all right enough. Here, I guess we have another piece hidden. So let's say delete hidden, mirror, and weld. So that way we have the same thing on both sides. So yeah, this is something that I would do to kind of like prep rock work. And I never had pieces that were mirrorable. But it's fine. It's fun. Yeah, and that's kind of part of the idea for the Vader mask is that it does have kind of like that skull sort of idea to it. Yeah, it's kind of help him feel like the bringer of death. You know, he's supposed to feel intimidating and scary, and it's just kind of a fun, interesting aspect to his mask. One of the things I might do is I might go ahead and because like I'm really liking seeing these samurai masks and how it's like you can feel that there is this separate piece right here. You know, the different pieces that were brought together, and so you can kind of see it over in here too, where it's like separate piece right there. It's really, really neat. Um, but yeah, for instance, like this stuff that I'm doing right now for my personal stuff wouldn't really fly at Blizzard. It's not really something that's it's not as useful of a workflow for what we need to do to be able to make a character ready for a game. Um, Same thing with Marvel, like very let's go through, hide that, delete hidden, mirror and weld. Um, but this could work and be super useful for being able to create like a base, or to, you know what, that was the wrong side. I need to go here. Um, do something like that. Delete hidden, mirror and weld. And then let's kind of start trying to build out some of this, like the neck plates that he's got going kind of down the front. And it might even be worthwhile to kind of do stuff like this and turn that around. Yeah, I don't know, just trying to experiment and have fun with it, figure out what we can do. I'm trying to decide, I mean, it feels like these plates need to be a little bit less intense. But yeah, just, you know, for the fun of it. You know what, let's kind of shrink this so I can see chat. Do you use ZBrush only for retopologing? No. I use ZBrush and Maya for retopology, but I do try to stick with ZBrush as much as possible, because to me, it's it is the most useful piece of software. I'm able to do sculpting. I'm able to do most of the retopology. You know what? Let's go ahead and kind of lower this down. I'm able to do a whole lot with it. Do you need to be good at drawing? No, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps. Like anything that you do artistically, it's going to kind of influence um, it's going to influence the way that um, you handle other things, right? So it's really pretty nice. Like I personally, I love drawing. Um, I do a lot of drawing on like my iPad and things like that, in the sketchbook. Um, and say bevel edge loop complete here, but I also do a ton of modeling, a ton of character work. Let's kind of bring this down just to be able to block in the shoulders, get the idea for them in there. Like I was saying earlier, you know, service ideas and kind of get things represented, or else it'll be too stale. Something kind of like not 100% sure Did I just copy with a snap distance? So that's a great question. So what this is, so if I just have my gizmo in place and I hold Control and click and drag out, it's going to allow me to duplicate it out and keep it within the same subtool. Now if I hold Control, click and drag it out, and get it to a certain point, and I want it to be like repeated at that distance, I can keep holding my gizmo, let go of Control, and then it'll just copy it out at that distance, like on a repeated basis. Really, really handy. There are other ways to be able to do that. Like for instance, if I wanted to, I could come back in here, and I could say, oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I could use array mesh if you guys are familiar with that. Yeah, in fact, I'll just say split hidden or whatever. Say split hidden, just so we can bring it back if we feel like we wanted to. So we got this sort of piece going on in there. Yeah, array is really nice, and we're gonna kind of play with that here in a second. Let's say turn on array mesh. Okay, and then we'll say offset is probably the right one here. Let's say repeat. Well, I'll say repeat like 3 or 4 or something like that, just so we can see what's happening when we do this. With offset, I'm going to say Y amount. You can see like we're starting to get our little effect there. Okay, I'm trying to remember, did I have it going in front of or behind? I had it going, no, I had it going like that. That's good. Okay. So yeah, so I have it offsetting like that. I can take the X amount. Oh, I guess the X amount isn't something that I really want to change because that's going to offset it in a different direction. I do have a Z amount. There we go. There we go. So now I've got this. Oh, we can offset it a little bit more in the Y direction if we want to as well. Maybe give it another piece there. And so the nice thing about array mesh is that now I can go through and I can modify the top one, and it will modify the rest of them as well. You know, say for instance I decide maybe it's not slanted enough, I can kind of slant it, or if it's too slanted, I can kind of fix that. And then I get a nice consistent repetition of shapes, and I only have to worry about modifying the top piece if I want to be able to make it so that it's, because I can't modify the bottom pieces, so that's kind of a good thing to note as well. Yeah, it's a nice little tool. I don't use array mesh very often. For myself personally, I much prefer to have things tangible. Let's see, I think this is probably too many pieces. I want to say, let's take it down to 3. So let's say 3. I'm going to say the Y amount. Let's put that down some. Pull this down some. And then I kind of want to see about, it's like with Vader's mask, he's got this little bit that kind of comes up from his neck into his chin. It has like a little bit of a slope to it. So I'm thinking about how I want to be able to put that in there. I do feel like the back of the jaw area feels a little bit too strong, so yeah, that feels a little bit nicer. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of times, I guess jumping back to the theme about, since we've talked about a bunch of other things since getting the question, back to the theme of workflow and whatnot. I don't like that. Um, that's kind of interesting. It's like a lot of places will have you start with like a low poly model. So you model it out inside of Maya or some other modeling package, and then you model it into and then you sculpt in the high resolution detail once you have all your UVs and everything done. So that way you can kind of work in a linear process like that. Other places will have you sculpt and just make it pretty, and then worry about making new topology afterward. A lot of my teammates at Blizzard are like that, where it's just like, I'll make the high poly, make it pretty, and then I'll worry about final topology afterward. Both are both processes are totally valid. Both work just as fine. So yeah, just kind of a matter of preference and what your need is. The nice thing about kind of working with a low poly model first is that then you have something to kind of hand off to rigging to be able to test. But the nice thing about starting with like a high poly design sculpt first is that then you can work out the design elements first, and you get things figured out that way. No idea what the kids are watching. It's kind of funny. Let me see if I can get a little bit nicer of a line there. Not perfect, but it's, it's better. Not perfect, but it's better. Alright. Now I'm thinking about going through and putting a head in here so that there's like eyes to see behind there. Let's do it. What do you guys think? Let's find characters for fun. Oh, put Baby Yoda in there. No, 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 no. Let me see. It looks like I don't really have anything super. Here, we can go ahead and take this, and we can kind of. I don't know that I really want to push. I don't know that I really want to push a female character into a male character. I was gonna say, because like I've got the I've got the Kobe bust. Maybe I could use the Kobe bust. You know what? I haven't saved this model yet. Let's go back. Let's save the model. ZBrush characters for fun. Samurai Vader. Save. Okay. So now we can grab my Kobe sculpt. I have no idea what material he has. What material he has select on right now. Let's see. Simple leather. That's kind of funny. Let's see. Let's come up to the top. Let's say insert Kobe head. Oh, then let's get the eyes too. Yeah, let's go into skin shade 5. This is my own personal version of skin shade. I feel like it's much easier and much nicer to work with. Yeah, good job saving the model. Yeah, yup. Say insert those eyes. Okay. Do I have? I don't know that I really need teeth. Oh, and I've got the little tear ducts. Let's grab those too. That's fine. And sure, why not? We'll grab the eyebrows. Is there anything else that I need to? Got the little chin hair, the stubble. We don't need stubble. I'll grab the eyelashes too, because why not? Okay, cool. I'm going to make this into a folder. Hey man, what do you do to fix a lumpy mesh? I know I have to work lowest poly possible, but what if I messed up some parts and it's lumpy? Messed up how so? Are you working with like clean topology, or are you working just like a Dynamesh and it's just low resolution? A big thing to do is to kind of work both versions of the smooth. Excuse me. So for instance, you know, you can smooth regularly, right? And it's going to smooth everything out. Okay. Oh, I don't want that. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's say mRGB color fill object. Okay. In fact, let's grab a material that maybe shows off those curves a little bit better. So yeah, you can just go through and kind of smooth, right? You lose volume, you lose form, you lose all sorts of things, right? Now, if you start shift and then you let go of shift and keep smoothing, that's going to try to maintain your volume a little bit better. So it's just a matter of kind of working those sorts of things back and forth. Like I feel like I've got a little bit of an extra noise to the surface here. So just kind of tweak that in. Of course, I also have like skin details, so you know, whatever. Whatever. So let's go ahead. Let's put this in here. Put this in here. Put this in here. Put this in here. Okay. So yeah, those are the things that I would kind of work at. If you're use morph targets, you could use morph targets, I guess. But yeah, so those are the things that I would recommend doing is like work your smooths, the different kinds of smooths. You also have, if you're not familiar with it, you also have up here in the light box and the brushes, we have a smooth brush and then smooth stronger. And you can say skip until next restart. But this brush is much stronger, and so like even if you are working at a higher resolution, let me see. I can still go through and kind of smooth out some of my details in here, you know. So kind of an interesting thing. Really great to kind of know about. Yeah, let's go ahead and shrink Mr. Bryant. Transpose set. Bring him down and in so that he fits in. It might be worth kind of getting him to match width-wise and then getting it to fit depth-wise. He kind of almost feels like Shredder from from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm going to see about trying to rework some of this here. That's kind of cool. I like that shape. So let's see if we can get this stuff to work. Let's see. Let's grab some of that, kind of pull that into place here. Yeah. It's funny though, because like I feel like the only times I really ever use morph targets are when I want to be able to create like a, what's it called? Like a just like a memory for the model. Like if I wanted to be able to add thickness. So for instance, this piece right here. One of the things that I can do is I can come down here and I can say morph target, store morph target, and then I can modify this. Say I can go into here, and if I wanted to be able to add thickness, I can hit like Shift S just to be able to keep track of like how thick this is going to be, and then I can just say inflate just a little bit, give it a little bit of thickness. It looks like something got messed up here, so this won't work exactly the way that I'd like, but morph target, we'll say create difference mesh. So then up in here we have this, okay, yeah, it worked just fine. So yeah, we have this piece with thickness now. So, that's a thing that you can do. It's kind of fun, it's kind of nice. But yeah, it's definitely one of those. I kind of like that bigger. Yeah, let's kind of pull that down some. So yeah, we got something like that kind of going on. I'm thinking that I might want to kind of fan out this the bonnet piece of the hood a little bit more. Let me see. Thanks for stopping in, sis. Appreciate. It's okay. I mean, I thought it would be a fun experiment, try to see about, having people in there to chat. I think that maybe if I were to do it again, I'd try to figure out like a way of making sure that it's focused to focus to ZBrush, focus to certain content, whatever topic seems to fit best. But yeah, no, it's totally fine. So I figured I'd try it out. Okay, he's starting to look super intimidating. Like super, super intimidating. I'm going to go ahead and kind of split this piece out. It's okay, Leonard. Like I said, I mean, it's totally cool. I just figured I'd try it out and see how it went. So yeah, I'll have to figure out a system for next time, because you know I like being able to chat. I like being able to talk with people. Um, you know, one of the hard things for me, I wish I could get music to work in a way that wouldn't get my video tagged. It's like I like having the music going. I don't know. I might be able to work something like that out now that I'm using headphones, but like Pretzel Rock is pretty nice. I know that a few people tend to use that one. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it definitely would work better in personal streams, because there are a lot more people that come to this one. Uh, a lot more people. Um, and yeah, so like they come for something specific, and then it's like, you know, we're talking about cool stuff that they didn't sign up for, and like, what? I don't get it. You know, so say split hidden so that we can pull that out. I'm kind of curious. About something like that. Kind of want to see like silhouettes from the front. I feel like this is getting to be a little bit too low. I'm trying to figure out like proportions, right? So like trying to split up shapes. So like this point is happening like, you know, so if we're looking at this section right here, this is like splitting this into like one, and then like to like two, like between two or three different points here. Um, like this top can kind of be brought in a little bit, but this corner right here is happening like a third of the way down this little bit right here. Um, this feels very even, so I need to figure out a way to be able to fix that. And it might be a matter of giving it like a nice straight here along the bottom. I don't know. I think that feels like that's working. That feels like that's kind of working. Shane puts music on, but the stream doesn't hear it. That's funny. Um, how to round the corners of a rectangular box irregularly in a symmetrical way. I'm not sure at all what that question means. How to round the corners of a rectangular box irregularly in a symmetrical way. Um, well, I mean, so I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but we can come over here. I'm going to say, let's grab this box. say initialize, we'll say qcube. So, I mean, one thing that we could do is if we just hit the D key, I mean, that'll round out the corners. And then we have all sorts of controls over here. So we have the dynamic, we can kind of choose like, you know, how smooth this looks, right? One thing that we could do is like right now this box has different polygroups, so we can come over here, we could say crease polygroups, and you can see it's making us sharp. So if we change our crease tolerance down to something lower than what our dynamic subdivisions is set to, it'll start to kind of round out those corners, while also holding shape. So that's really nice. Doing something irregularly, what I would probably try to do is something like this, where I've got, yeah, maybe I've got the box. I like the way that the box looks. I'll just hit apply, so that way I have, you know, my subdivisions all worked out. You can come in with like something like trim dynamic and get like a very different look in different corners. You know, just smoothing out the different corners or just something different ways. I don't know, like you can kind of get artistic and art directed and art driven in that sort of way. Where is my smooth brush? Smooth. So yeah, I mean this could be kind of nice for creating something that feels kind of organic but also kind of machined at the same time. You kind of give it like a little bit more of like a hard edge transition there. So yeah, you can get things like that, or you can get things like that where it's all very very perfect and very clean. So it just kind of depends on what it is you're trying to look for. This is something that's symmetrical, but then also irregular. If you wanted to, you could also use symmetry, and if you wanted to, you could even come in, let's see, come over here to transform. You could turn on symmetry in different directions. In fact, we could even turn it on in all three directions, and you can see kind of what's happening here. We're getting all the corners at the same time. It's kind of undo until we get to a point where all those corners are the same. Let's apply that. So now we can go in here and we can do everything very symmetrically, very, yeah, so like all the corners are going to be the same, top to bottom, left to right. So now it's like we've built out a dice, and it feels like a dice. It feels like something that we could you know, come in here and we could say, you know, one, we got, I don't know what order things go in, but 1, 2, 3, yeah, I don't know, I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, now we've got a dice. It's ready to be 3D printed. And then if we decide that all that is not quite right, you know, we could go through and we could say, let's create a layer, and we could say, all right, so now there's my 1, here's my 1, 2, here's my, yeah, I don't remember how it goes, but that's how I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, and then if we decide, you know, I'll finish it since it's not going to take a whole lot of time here. 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now that we have that layer, if we wanted to, we could make that less intense. We could make it so that it pops out, you know, however we wanted to do that. If we wanted to, we could also go ahead and duplicate the layer so that it's more intense, you know, and then it just becomes a matter of being able to, you know, make our details more intense, because you print something out like this scale. I mean, you're going to want those things to be 3 a diagonal. Oh well. Oh well. That's kind of what I thought, but I was like, figure it out. Does proper hard surface edge flow matter for games nowadays with ZBrush in the pipe? Yes, absolutely. Because what'll happen is, like, even if something's not deforming, you still need to have good edge flow in order to make sure that, you don't get artifacting with. Oh, I guess this is the right one. This is the file we're working in. Here, I'll just kind of bring this down. Doesn't need to be anything fancy anymore. But yeah, because what'll happen is that, like, if I think especially for games, it could be really important, because what happens is that when we put a model into the game engine, it has the normals, like the surface normal smoothed, and if you have poor topology, a lot of times you can get artifacts on your surface where it just catches the light wrong. And granted, you can bake in normal maps, and a lot of times that will help you quite a bit. But there's still a lot that needs to still a lot that doesn't quite work. At least not in that way. You know what? Let's say geometry, delete hidden. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for these pieces kind of coming off the front here. I do know that I need it to be a lot flatter, but you know, that's part of part of the blocking. Okay, just for the sake of having something in here. Something else that I thought about doing, which I think could be really cool, is doing like Beetle studies that are like Star Wars characters. Yeah, I could like have this flare out. It's like it's getting a little bit too something. Too bent here at the end. It's like my brain's not working. Yesterday was a super long day for me. It was a really good day. It was my first day going into the office at Blizzard, you know, so that was nice. So I got to hang out with the crew. I got to see all the cool statues. I got to walk around campus and see the art, and you know, hang out with my team. You know, that was awesome. It was awesome. Blockheads. It's been a while since I thought about Gumby and Pokey. When I was a kid, my grandma had, I think she still has them. I think they're my dad's little Gumby figurines, Gumby and Pokey. I think she still has them. She has that, and she has Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from when my cousin and I would visit. Um, yeah, these little things that she has that are like super sentimental for no good reason other than the fact that I associate them with visiting my grandmother. It's fun. So yeah, that's a big reason why I actually like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is because of the toys that my grandma had at her house. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to style the top. But let's go ahead and get rid of that for now. We don't really need it. Okay. I do know that I want some sort of like massive flaring V for Star Wars Gumby. Gumby Skywalker. Pokey Solo. Or Pokey Baka, like Chewbacca, but Pokey. That'd be funny. Trying to figure out, let's see, extrude edge. Let's pull this out, pull this out. Let's say move, pull that in so that we have something like this. I think that's like way too tall. I like that. That's starting to feel a little bit nicer. It feels like there is some good overlap here with like the visor bit, so I'm gonna kind of bring that down some like that. Oh, this is starting to be cool. The wire broke. Yeah, it's kind of one of the hard things about that style of toy. Is how it's like it's a soft plastic or rubber in some cases, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what material it is. You'd know better than I do. But then the wire is like embedded and everything, and if that wire breaks, yeah, some sort of rubber. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to grab this. I just duplicated the thing so that I could create. I want to create the coin in the middle here. And let's go ahead and let's expand it out like that. And then we'll go ahead and here and we will say flatten. We'll turn on our symmetry in the Z direction. And flatten that bad boy out. Now, one of the things I'm trying to look at in my reference is like how thick these pieces tend to get. Because I really like the coin idea because, like in the Bandai toy, he's got that Imperial insignia right there, which is awesome to me. And I might try to go through and kind of redesign it into something like a. In fact, I haven't even added that picture to my board yet. Let me go ahead and copy image. This way I'm just trying to get as best a reference as I can get. But yeah, I love the idea of, because like in Japan, a lot of family crests will often have what's the name of that flower? Like because like they have the flower, the what's it called? Chat, help me out. Help me out. It should be the smartest logo. The sakura. The so like having some form of sakura in that, you know, kind of editing that logo to kind of feel a little bit more like it's got sakura leaves, even though it's not going to be uh, a five petal sakura. I think that having something that's reminiscent of some of these shapes. Oh, here, let's say copy image, take that over into my reference. Because I love this look. It's so elegant and so beautiful. And so I think having something like that could be really super helpful to tying the pieces together. Let's say accept. Let me see. So these pieces feel like they're supposed to be kind of more up and down than what's it called? Than the I'll say the wings, um, but not quite as much. Not as laid down, but not quite up and right straight up and down. Um, something like that maybe. In fact, here's something I can do. Let's go ahead and let's take this front. And we'll just kind of scale it in just a little bit. We'll bevel these edges too, just so it feels like it's rounding out up to the top. And then on the Bandai toy, it's got kind of like this hollow to it. In fact, let's just bring over the internet. So yeah, the Bandai toy has like this like hollow bits. Only the wealthy could afford to have a kamon. And it's interesting the way that you phrased that. I'm curious, like, to afford to have one. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting concept to be able to afford to have, because I mean it's a simple symbol. It represents like the family and represents or like in the case like what you're saying, it's like the lords having those sorts of pieces. This guy's really cool. Copy image. Okay. Sorry, I always get caught in these trends of looking for reference. It's like even if I feel like I've already found decent and adequate reference. Oh, this is cool too. But he's missing the wings. I bet those pieces were either like stolen or something like that. That's kind of fun. I'm gonna save, not save. I want to save this to my thing, so copy it. Yeah, I'm not going to be using all this reference, but it's helpful for me to be able to inform my decision making. It's like, for instance, Vader has this cool rim kind of going up over the top of his helmet. Let's pull this back up. See, it's got like that central ridge kind of going up over the top. In fact, this guy, this engineer right here, he's got the funny helmet there too, but he's got like the big. Yeah, that's really interesting. The flare to his helmet is so much bigger than Vader's, and so it's interesting to think about that and think about how this guy isn't made for combat, but we definitely have Vader. He's much more sleek in that aspect, and the stormtroopers even more so. So it's just kind of an interesting thing to consider. Let me see. I'm going to say insert multiple edge loops. I'm going to say keep polygroup. Something like that could work. It's changed to select lasso. That way we have different polygroups here. We can say, and you know, this could be an occasion too where we could use what's it called? Yeah, let's say bevel. Where we could use array mesh. I'm just going to do something like this. And you know what? Let's keep it. Let's say mask edge loop partial, boom, 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 invert it, and then we'll just come down here, deformation. We'll say inflate. This way we're starting to get the look of the helmet, and that'll help us to keep it there. If we decide we need to kind of change shape or change whatever about this, in fact, I'm thinking I might try to take this and give it just a little bit of a swoop there. Not a lot, because these are supposed to be rigid pieces, but I do want to feel a little bit more of the gravity. Now it definitely looks like now it definitely looks more like Shredder. Here, let's go ahead. I think this might be a little bit more extreme than I want. Can I show reference image? Sure. So I mean, let's see. Go back to like the samurai stuff. Okay, so I mean, we've got like some different versions in here. This is a lot more. I'll say a lot fancier, a lot more ceremonial. I'll say than what I was looking at. Let me see. This is kind of cool, and you can see the plates and the way that they're overlapping. Currently, I don't have it as plates. I just have it as, you know, ridges. But yeah, there are a whole bunch of ways that these pieces were put together. This guy's pretty cool. But it's really neat to me to see the way that it's like there's a lot of, I'll say stitching. It's not really stitching because, you know, it's, I don't know, you didn't stitch it. It's more like a weave, like it's woven together. With this cord, it's corded together. But it's really neat to see the way that that sticks together, the way that it's put to kind of stay together. Um, I'm trying to consider. Here, let's see. I need this piece. Geometry, delete hidden, bevel that edge loop so that we get something like that. Delete hidden. We'll say extrude all polygons. Just to be able to get this represented, right? Oh, come on. And you know what? In fact, let's say mirror and weld. And what we'll do is we'll say dynamic. We'll just turn on dynamic because this will work. This will work for me. A little bit thick. And one of the things that I'm going to want to try to balance out is making this feel more like Darth Vader instead of feeling like Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I think a lot of it's going to come from what elements I choose to put in here. You know what? Do the Sith have insignia? Sorry, insignia. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like we're getting a lot of different logos in here. The one that makes the most sense to me is this one. Oh, here we go. This is cool. Okay. Copy that image. Oh, that's a good idea. But yeah, the thing I'm thinking about with this is that it allows me. That's not Boba Fett Mandalorian. That's the Shield logo. Somebody is not doing their homework. That's funny. Sith, First Order, Galactic Senate, Black Sun, Old Republic, Galactic Republic, the Jedi Order, the New Jedi Order, the Galactic Empire. It's like the Empire is one that it's like it doesn't even have. This says Sith era. It's kind of interesting. Sith holocron. Yeah, it's like this one has that that logo with like the I'll say like the leaf, the feather leaf thing in there. I don't know. I mean, with the Sith, I mean, there are only ever two at a time, right? But you would think that occasionally there would be an artist that's a Sith. The bad guy's got to draw sometime too, right? I don't know. kind of interesting. I don't know that I'll find exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's see if we can get. I'm going to kind of use this neck piece to kind of block in what goes underneath. Kind of see what we can create with this. Oh yeah, this is the array mesh. Okay, I'm going to say make mesh. It's like this is something that I just enjoy being able to do is really manipulate the geometry. So, you know, coming in here and just holding Alt and being able to really control where these pieces are going. I feel a little bit more inclined. Well, I guess this is supposed to kind of hang down a little bit lower. Let's just kind of pull this down some. And it goes out pretty wide. Yeah, let's see if we can get this to kind of curve up just a little bit here. And it's like it feels like it's coming from the outside of the piece, so it's like I'm trying to balance kind of what it is that I'm seeing in the concept versus what I'm seeing or what I want to create. That's one of the tricky things about concepting something, is trying to balance what you see with what you want to see or what you want to create. And I'm toying with the idea of adding some sort of like eye shield, like a lens, just to really hone in on that idea of, you know, this being this being Vader. Ooh. All right, it's 11:19. I've been at this for a couple of hours. think I think I'm at a point where I can kind of call it good. Oh, you know, I don't want to. Ugh. Okay, that's what I want. It's like I want to be able to take this and create like a collar. It's like I'm seeing in my reference that there's like a really thick collar coming out of the side. So that'll kind of go around like that, but it's going to be here. You know what? Let's go ahead and hide that as well. We'll say modify topology, delete hidden. I'm going to create a rounded corner right here because that'll be cool. Let's say insert multiple edge loops. We'll just say something like that, something like that. And then we can say collapse edge. Oh. Mirror and weld. Okay. Turn on symmetry. Okay, can't even see that rounded corner, but it's okay. It's there. We know it's there. And we have it blocked in, so that's good. That's a win. Give us a little bit more thickness, like a 0.01, something like that. That'll be kind of our good thickness. Turn off smoothing. It's like this will just help me to get an idea of what this will look like. Turn off smoothing, turn on thickness. Same thing down here, because why not? Turn off smoothing, 0.01. Ah, interesting. Modify topology, delete hidden. Okay, that's better. This particular piece, I do want it to go and extend down quite a bit. I'll say extrude here, and then we'll extrude this down so that it kind of matches. Oops. Okay, this is starting to get some interesting looks to it. So I think that this is going to be a good spot for us to stop for now. We'll pick this up again next week. Because yeah, I think he's definitely starting to get that look. He's just, yeah, he's just gonna have some, fun things. Mouthpiece, like it should be wider at the base. Yeah, maybe. He does look a little bit too much like a like Reaper from Overwatch. I'm toying with the idea of making it so that he has, kind of like what we were talking about with my guy from earlier. Because like Vader has these lines kind of coming into the front of his helmet right here. So I thought about making those into like teeth, like a top row and a bottom row that are meeting in the middle. So we'll play with that and see what we make out of it. I do feel like making it wider could potentially make it feel a little bit more Vader-esque. I don't know. It'll be something that'll be good to play with. For sure. It's a good suggestion. How do I add a cube? I can't find it anywhere. Easy. Subtool, go down, you can hit append or insert. Append will add it to the end of the list, and insert will add it just underneath what you have selected. You come over here and select cube. This cube is not my favorite, so let's say append cube 3D. Like I really don't like this cube. I don't feel like there's a reason for it, because it's got this pole up here at the top. Now, I mean, if you smooth it out, it's going to look like a smoothed out cube. It's not really a big deal, but what I like to do is I like to add that, and then I'll come down here to initialize, and then I'll just hit Q cube. And then what this does is it adds a cube with nice clean topology. Makes it really nice. So yeah, subtool, append to add it to the end of the list, or insert to add it to just below whatever you have selected, and then yeah, nice, simple. It's good stuff. Yeah, the poll is disgusting. It's not helpful at all. I've never found a use for it, so I don't know. It's one of those things. You use what works. But if you need something just as a base to start off at, you needed a cube to be able to make like a block. It works just fine. Like if you're gonna dynamesh it, but otherwise, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to widen this out right here. And then we'll call it done. We'll call it a day. We'll pick it up again next week. I'm not very good at like stopping. It's funny. Let's kind of pull this up and in a little bit so this is better matching the end of the mask. But yeah, not too bad. Yeah, yeah. Says he's leaving, but he can't stop. Yeah, I'm very good at not stopping. I'm sorry. Same thing here. Dynamic, turn on dynamic, turn off smooth. Actually, what does the smoothing look like? Yeah, smoothing's terrible. Turn on thickness to 0.01, and that's good enough for blocking. Okay. So we'll go through. We'll finish. Or we'll try to finish next week. Let me see. What is next week? Next week is the 29th. Yeah, we should hopefully try to be able to finish that out next week so that it's ready for the ZBrush presentation. Should be fun. If you guys are interested in being able to participate in this challenge. There it is. Go away. All right. I already copied the link once to the chat, but here it is again. For in case you want to check it out, and yeah, feel free to participate. Yeah, I don't know why the Cube 3D is like that. It's such an odd little cube. I mean, I still can't figure out like a real use for it. But yeah, if you want to be able to participate and create Star Wars work to be able to submit, you have this this opportunity here. You know, you can come in here, follow the link, and follow the instructions, and do what you will. Yeah, look at this. Some stuff that Paul shared. Dude, Paul's amazing. So good. Gumby blockheads. Yeah. The TIE Fighter looks so cool and such awesome details, right? A lot of this was done using array mesh, so it's super neat. Yeah, not much time left. So if you wanted to be able to participate in this, definitely got to jump on it like soon. um, lightsaber that Ian modeled. But yeah, lots of really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. There is our Samurai Vader for now. Lots of work left to do, but it's coming along. It's coming along. All right, guys, have fun. I hope you guys get to participate in that because it's a pretty cool opportunity. It's a pretty cool opportunity. Oh, I need to take off that hashtag food demons. Oh well. Yeah, take it easy. Have a good day. I'll see you next time I see ya. Smartest out.